Welcome to the special edition of Mailbag. We decided we'd do this one on Spaces, just as a sort of an end of year thing. For anyone who doesn't know, Mailbag is the sort of non-Everton podcast. It's essentially the Blue Room's escape valve from the drudgery of talking about the Toffees every week. So the format is each week I have 2 or 3 guests on to answer questions sent in by the followers of the Blue Room Twitter account. The show is available on Patreon and YouTube channels. At the end of each year, we have a Mailbag Royal Rumble where I choose questions that have been sent in over the course of the year and get as many people involved in answering the questions as possible. If you had a question you want to chip in with an answer to, just request to be a speaker and I'll try and get you on. But joining me for this one are Warren, Paul, Foxy, Keith, and hopefully some more people will be on over the course of the show. We've got a lot of questions to get through. So I'll kick off with this one first. Warren, I'll come to you on this one first, mate. It was from Mike DeAsha back in January when he asked, who's the most famous person you could beat in a fight?
I'll tell you what, first of all, I've never done Spaces before, so this is decent, I like it. And
it's good, isn't it?
Yeah, well handled, well introduced. The most, what was it? Sorry, repeat it again just for me a minute.
Who's the most famous person you could beat in a fight?
Famous person I could beat? Well, I'm self-confessing here by saying I'm not a hard man. I'm not like one to use my fists or nothing, so I'm not going to aim for someone too difficult. You know, I want to win the scrap, obviously. But I'm going to go for, because it just annoys me that he's a cockfight, I'm going to go for Daniel Craig, because, you know, obviously playing Bond, you'd think the mystique of playing such a historic and well-known character that, you know, he'd be like, you know, good at the old fighting game and all that, but I reckon behind it all he's probably a bit weak. So I know he's got the physique and everything, but I reckon I could take Daniel Craig down, definitely.
I reckon he's probably smaller in real life as well than he seems on the screen, isn't he? I bet he's dead little. I mean you are very big anyway. So.
I was going to say, mate, like I only saw you last week, and you know for a fact that I'm not the tallest in the world. But no, I think I could take him. I don't think I could take many others. I'll be honest. I don't think I'd take many other famous people on, but I'd go for him. I reckon I'd make a bit of a game of it because, you know, I think I'd have extra motivation, and he's one of these mainstream cockfights who we love so much. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I reckon I'd take him.
Yeah, well, he dropped the bollock on an interview he did. He was asked about where was he when Liverpool won the title. He went, what, last time? Like, well, yeah, literally, like, I don't know, a year ago, whenever it was. He was like, oh, do you know what? I can't remember. So the first title he won in 30 years, the better red like that, didn't know where he was.
Yeah, typical shit out. So yeah, I'm definitely having him. I've got extra motivation now, definitely, all over it.
All day. Keith, are you going to give James Bond a good kicking, or have you got someone else in mind?
I don't fancy my chances against James Bond, to be honest. Like, cause he'll just get his robot car to like shoot me with a missile from 3 miles away or something. So I'm giving him a swerve. If we're going for like the most famous person I reckon I could beat in a fight, I'm going for Stephen Hawking.
I mean, know what, he could have all sorts of gadgets on his chair.
But see, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take his battery out, I'm going to cut his brakes, and I'm going to push him down a hill.
Keith, have you not seen that episode of The Simpsons where he beats up Homer, gives him a jab?
Yeah, the problem with that is he can't do it. Once I've taken his battery out, he's defenceless.
It's a solid plan. I'm clearly giving this a lot of thought.
He's just rolling away down the hill.
Would you not feel a little bit bad?
Absolutely not, because I reckon he's a cockfight as well.
I was just about to say, I'm thinking he's a cockfight.
He's got a very cockfighty look about him.
Dales, who do you reckon you could have?
I've gone for the same route as Warren, to be honest, here, Les. I've gone for a real life person and a fictional character. So I'll get me real life gripe out the way first. I'd have to have a go at Alan Sugar.
Oh God, yeah.
Because he looks like a Thunderbird, so I reckon I could take him quite easily. I reckon I'd knock him out with just a knee to the face.
It's very specific attack plan, that like. Well,
yeah, I'm very much like Keith. I've done my research on Lord Sugar, and the irony of this is he's actually type 2 diabetes. So I just get bags of sugar and irony. I'd lever him with them, and I'd throw a milkshake at him as well.
I'm liking how quickly and how dark this has gone.
Well, this is the only way I can express my darkness because Twitter have restricted me account. If you're listening, Twitter Sport, give me your account back, you fucking lizards.
I mean, let's be honest, Les. This was always going to go quite dark quite quickly, wasn't it?
Yes.
But I thought starting at 6:30, I thought that we might sort of ease into it, but no,
You know
straight in there.
Yeah,
You know what the problem is there,
watershed
Les?
yet, yeah.
The problem there is we haven't even had our tea.
No.
We haven't even had our tea. Yeah.
This is when we're at our most dangerous.
It's true.
Mm.
It's true. I am liking, though, there's some thought out attack plans here because, you're beating someone in a fight, you've got to go for their weakness.
Yeah.
Foxy.
Well, I kind of
Oh, sorry. So, Paul, you've got another one, have you? Sorry. Foxy.
Oh, yeah, sorry, boys. The other one would be, for any Ted Lasso fans out there, Nate the Great. Now, Nick Mohammed, who plays him, seems a really lovely fella, but Nate the Great, the character himself, is an absolute gobshite. I would simply call him names until he bled.
What one's he? Is he in the... I've only seen about 4 episodes of the first series.
He is... Oh, I don't want to give too much away. If you've seen the first episode, he's the pitchman. That's all I'm prepared to say.
Oh, okay. He seems all right, then.
He starts off all right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Fair enough, then. We'll leave it
Bad,
there.
bad,
No spoilers.
not bad.
Do you know what? I really didn't like Ted Lasso at first. I watched the first episode and thought, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. Went on to the second one, and it grew on me. It's really good.
Yeah, superb TV.
Yeah. Foxy.
I went quite literal with this, so I just went for who's the most famous people. So I had a quick look up. So Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, clearly not. Iron Man was second place, and clearly can beat Iron Man, and then the Queen. And I kind of thought a 95-year-old woman, we could just 10 minutes. I think I could probably stand longer than she could, and I'd win. So yeah, went for the Queen. She's pretty famous.
That's what it's. Yeah, I mean, I like your reasoning there. That you've just gone from top to bottom famous.
First two,
Number 3, the Queen.
The Rock, no chance. Iron Man, no chance. The Queen, and I think Bill Gates was 4th. So Bill Gates probably got a chance there, but I think the Queen the most famous. Yeah,
I reckon you could easily round out Bill Gates.
Bill the Microsoft Gates. Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
he's quite old.
Yeah.
She's
I love how
definitely
we've
dead,
all-
though, isn't she, the Queen?
What's
I
that?
love how we've all gone for
She's definitely dead, yeah.
She's definitely dead.
quite weak people.
We don't fancy our chances too much.
Like they're like they did Weekend at Lizzie's over Christmas, and refused to announce the fact that she's carked it about a month ago.
Prince Philip was the trial run for that, wasn't he?
Oh, he was a walking corpse for about 6 years, though, wasn't he? Night of the Living Dead.
Oh God, yeah. But yeah, I'm liking that. Good answers there, lads. We'll move on to the second one because we've got quite a lot to get to. I picked one from each month, more or less, but I think I picked 13 because obviously one for luck. Ryan Reynolds asked, I think this was in February, what's the worst transmitted disease you've ever had? For no other reason, as I'm going to go back to front, Foxy will come to you first. I'm not casting any aspersions.
Well, I've generally led quite a blameless life until now. So I've currently got COVID at the moment. I'm like day 6 or 7, and I'm just really, really bored of having COVID, self-isolation and all that stuff. Until this point, I've been fairly sheltered from the dangerous diseases being transmitted by others. I've had a few self-inflicted, like meningitis, and I had my thyroid blew up to twice the size of Michael Keane's left foot last year and had to get that taken out. But they're all self-inflicted stuff. So in terms of passed on from other people, and I think this is probably my wife's fault, yeah, it's having COVID at the moment.
I'm with you, up the Omicron ultras.
Yeah, awesome. Totally awesome.
Definitely. Dales?
Do you know what? I was thinking about this before, and like I had COVID earlier on in the year, but my symptoms were rather mild, so I can't really say that's the worst disease I've ever had. If we're going to class it as a disease, I'm going to say mumps was the worst I've ever had, purely on account of the fact when I had it, it made me look like a fucking chipmunk, and yeah, I won't go into any other details. It's not nice and it's not pleasant.
How old were you when you had it?
I was 15.
Okay. Oh, that's a bad age, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
absolutely
you're really self-conscious
heavy
about it, and you're sort of on the cusp of adulthood there a bit. So it could be really, really bad.
It was a grim time, Les. A grim time indeed.
We won't dwell on it any longer then. Keith?
I'm going to go with Flappy here. I've had mumps as well, and it's horrible. Like, genuinely, my face was like 3 times the size, and it's properly grim because like any contact with it at all, and you're in agony. That's I haven't really. I've not had COVID officially, but I'm fairly certain I was one of like the guinea pigs at the start because that January 2019, 2020, sorry, that January, I felt like death warmed up for about a month. Like, honestly, thought I was on my way to check out. And then all of a sudden there's a global pandemic. So I reckon I had it before anyone else. Like, one of those. Like, yeah, I saw that band before you did. I was there at the start.
Always an innovator, not an imitator.
I'm a COVID original, mate.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I reckon that's what I had.
The OGC.
But yeah, other than that, no, I've managed to thankfully avoid any of the sort of diseases that I know Ryan Reynolds was hoping we would talk about.
Well, yeah, we'll come to Warren for that one. Warren, can you lower the tone a bit?
I love how it's come to me to lower the tone. No, do you know what? Omicron ultras like the rest of us, but I am a hat trick of mumps sufferers. I got it when I was 21. It went around our uni. There was an outbreak in our uni, and it is comfortably the worst illness I've ever had. I lost 2 stone during the 3 weeks I had it. I had my cheeks obviously swelled up. I suffered really bad temperature, sick all the time. I'll go into details. Don't know if the boys had similar, but both me balls swelled up, and it was like, honest to God, it was like having a chain attached and dragging it around.
Yeah, that's exactly
awful.
where I was going, man.
One bust a gonad.
Yeah,
honestly, like
absolutely.
both of them. And with me, I don't know. Again, sorry for going into detail, but one swelled up first, and that was really painful. And then that swelling went down, and then the other one swelled up. So for like 2 weeks, I just had this feeling of dragging like a ball and chain around. No pun intended. And it was, I lost loads of weight, didn't eat, just wanted to sleep, hardly slept, temperature through the roof, and just felt really weak after it. So it's like chicken pox, isn't it? It's the worst when you get it the older you are. You need to get it when you're younger. So that was, I genuinely would not wish that on it. I mean, I had the Omicron a couple of weeks ago, over Christmas, and like didn't even feel ill. So I'd rather have had that than when I got the mumps. It was awful. It was horrible.
Yeah, that sounds heavy. Mr. Nobody.
Hello.
You. So have you got a tale of a really badly transmitted disease you've had, maybe?
Not that I can say with my wife in the room. No, I haven't, to be honest. I don't even think I've had chicken pox.
See, I think I'm immune to chicken pox because I've never had it, and the kids had it, and I didn't catch it.
Yeah, same here.
So I think
same here.
Yeah.
All 3 of mine have had it.
What a superpower to have.
I've never had mumps. I've
What's
never
that?
had anything like that. Measles. I haven't had that. Anything.
So you're like the antivirus to this question, aren't you?
Well, I've had my vaccines and my booster, but
I tell you what, I had my booster the other week, and it knocked me out for 2 days.
Oh, knocks you out. It does take you out for a day or two.
yeah,
Then
the next day
I caught Omicron 2 days later. Fine, but I've had to isolate for a week.
But I've only had it so I can go abroad.
Were you off?
Well, hopefully, if everything calms down a bit, hopefully Greece. We've been trying to go for 2 years. It keeps getting cancelled on us.
Yeah, it's grim, isn't it? Have you got anyone famous? Who do you reckon you could beat? Famous person you could beat in a fight? Anyone come to mind?
Me. Danny DeVito.
That's a very, very good show.
Give him a right shooting.
As he is now.
He needs a battering just for that Twins movie, doesn't he? Making that with Schwarzenegger. Was that him? That was him, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was. There's a few films we need it for.
He was the Penguin, though, in Batman Returns. He was brilliant.
Yeah. And Taxi as well, he was in that, wasn't he? That was brilliant, if you remember that programme.
Yeah. So apart from being dead small, what do you reckon his main weakness would be?
His girth. He wouldn't be able to do it.
Where's this going?
It's not that kind of show.
Yeah. See, I I automatically assumed the size of his waist, but you know,
Yeah, they did.
you
That's
crack
what I
on,
meant. The
lads.
size of his waist. Funny,
Right,
have you ever heard
go on.
Jason Manford talk about when he went on his diet?
No.
And he measured himself. Someone said to him, measure your stomach. And the girth of his stomach all the way round, he was 2 inches shorter than Danny DeVito.
Jesus.
That's why he went on a diet, he said.
See, the thing is, though, would you like sort of like condense Danny DeVito in all directions?
Yeah.
So you think maybe he's probably only got a 30-inch waist, but he's only 2 foot tall.
Yeah, like if you could stretch Danny DeVito out, he
He'd be
wouldn't
about
be as
7 foot.
girthy, would he? Yeah.
Like a pizza, though.
It'd be like that dog off Toy Story, Slinky.
He would. Right, Mr. Nobody, thanks for coming on there. Cracking answers, mate. Nice one.
Cheers, mate.
Speak to you soon.
Ta.
Right, next up, we've got one from Dan Vane. Oh, no, sorry, Warren, we've got one from you. So I'll come to you first on this.
Oh, nice.
Who's your favourite video game character and why? You asked this back in February.
February, bloody hell. Yeah, I remember this because it was just after I'd completed Red Dead 2. So for those of you who are listening who are big into your gaming, Red Dead 2, the great Red Dead Redemption 2, the greatest game there's ever been. And I get into these games. Like, I'm not a massive gamer, but when I play these adventure action games where you play a character, I get very much invested in it. And yeah, just for those of you who've played it will know what I'm on about. But I love the Metal Gear Solid series as well, and Snake in the Metal Gear games. He was just a badass character as well. So he was someone who we got into. But yeah, it was. I remember asking this all the way back, and it was off the back of playing Red Dead. And yeah, big Arthur Morgan in Red Dead. Yeah, what a guy. And it got me into wanting to you know, get involved in learning more about the time period and all that. So it was very, very good game, very good game. And obviously I know everyone's played it now and it's done what it's done. But yeah, all day long, big Arthur Morgan, I think, for me.
With you on that. I'm so ahead of the curve. I've just bought GTA 5.
Well, we're never going to see GTA 6, are we? So
no, because knobheads like me keep buying GTA 5.
Yeah.
There's no reason for it. I said, I've been playing it. I'm sure I played this. So I said to Jay, have we had this on a different console? He goes, yeah, Dad, you had it on the PS4. Oh, okay, sound.
Probably had it on the PS3 as well.
Probably did as well, yeah. But yeah, Trevor in that. What a character.
Trevor. He's off his head, and he should be an Evertonian, him, shouldn't he, Trevor?
Trevor Phillips is definitely Everton.
He's
definitely Park End, isn't he, Trevor Phillips?
Absolutely.
Oh, God, yeah. Paul, who's yours?
Do you know what? I was thinking about this before. Warren, completely, fully, wholeheartedly agree with Arthur Morgan. Yeah. He's got a magnificent beard, a wonderful head of hair, which you can groom to your own choice. He's just an all-round great fella, and Red Dead's a wonderful game as well. Away from Red Dead, I've been playing. I'll go to another Arthur. I've been playing Vanguard quite a lot over Christmas, and Arthur Kingsley. I won't give too much of the story away in case anyone's still playing, but he's a good egg, and really comes across as a good leader as well in the game.
What game's that in? Sorry.
Vanguard, Call of Duty.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well worth a play for anyone out there and ahhing.
Just go for it.
Yeah, definitely.
Zombies isn't great though, is it?
Do you know what? I've not played the Zombies mode yet. I have on the other Call of Duties in the past, but I don't know if it's any different. I did play.
You're saying you've changed it a little bit, and it's not. It's all right, but
yeah, there was a mad war zone like during Halloween when we were in lockdown, and it was the scariest fucking thing I've ever played. Like it was just shit up the entire time. Fucking zombies popping up from everywhere. It was just horrible.
It is terrifying. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Keith.
I don't really play the old console games much these days. I'm turned into proper old man Tomlin now. But so going back a wee bit, I'm going to go with Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid.
Shout.
Because he was just a bit of a badass, wasn't he? He was just like sound.
It was that stealth move you could do.
Yeah, crawling about, going all stealthy, kicking the shit out of henchmen. What's not to love?
Exactly. Foxy?
Yeah, it's me. It's me on Football Manager, so I can. For those who haven't played it, you can do a little caricature of yourself. So I'm thinner and better looking. I've got a better facial hair, better head hair, so that's all plus points. With Everton, I'm boring. I'm always Everton, so dull. But I can make them into Champions League team within 2 seasons. I earn 100k a week. Always not to like. It is all good.
Fully
it's all good. Yeah, it's obsessive.
One thing I've noticed when I'm playing GTA 5 now, I always redress the characters straight away and do the hair and beards and stuff.
As yourself?
More or less, yeah. I'm not narcissistic, pretty much, yeah. What would I wear in that situation? Awful. Matt, welcome. You were due to be on this anyway, but I wasn't sure what time you'd make it. What's your favourite video game character and why? Are you there, Matt?
You are on mute.
You're on mute.
Hello.
There he is.
Evening, guys. I've managed to brave the M4, go home in time. Right, so I'm not a massive gamer like Keith, but one game I used to love when I was a kid was Golden Axe, and
yes,
I used to love the little dwarf with the axe, and he would go around smashing everyone out to the knees, and everyone would be drawn to the barbarian and the Valkyrie, and he would just go around proper sniding everyone, and nobody would get anywhere near him, and he was just a horrible little get. So he was my favourite.
He did that little forward roll as well, didn't he?
Yeah. He was a right little bugger. So no, I used to enjoy being him. And I used to like Sonic. I'll be honest with you. I think I used to enjoy playing Sonic. But no, that was my best one. The little dwarf in Golden Axe. He was
that was a hell of a game, actually.
He spent fortunes on that.
The thing is, though, it was pretty much every single arcade game of the late 80s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They were all the same game, just a sideways scroller, just with maybe a gun or a sword, and you could basically jump and move sideways. That was it.
Do you remember Commando?
Oh, yes.
It was like
off the Arnie film, was that? The one where you ran up.
That was it. It was like a Kari. It was like a bit like a Kari Warriors, but you were the one-man army, and you were That was a class one as well.
That was like an old Commodore 64 game, wasn't it? Was it?
I think so.
Something else. Yeah, I'm thinking of that.
But that was an arcade staple as well.
Yeah. Right, next question from Dan Vane. Just a one-word answer will do. You don't need any workings for this. Would you rather? You can do if you want. You don't need it. Would you rather cry baked bean juice or fart actual cobwebs, Matt?
Oh, baked bean juice.
You cry baked bean juice.
Yeah.
Interesting. Foxy?
I'd go for spiders webs every time. I think that'd be an upgrade. If I could get that, I'd probably opt in. The amount of times that you kind of got an uncomfy seat, the spiders webs would be incredibly good around Goodison for most of those seats. And imagine the fun you could get up to at Halloween with the kids. It'd be great.
Decorating the house?
Well, I was thinking we're outside for a display, but yeah, you could decorate the house too.
Yeah, whatever works. Into that. Paul?
I'm going to go with cobweb farts. It'd be less messy than bean juice. It'll give me massive Spiderman vibes. And Catherine, who's my wife and listening on this now, hates spiders, so she pisses me off.
I've just imagined that's how Spider-Man spins his webs. So forget Tobey Maguire with his wrist jizz. He just farts the webs out.
Spielberg needs to. He's missing out on such a trick here.
The whole Marvel universe has missed out on a trick. Somewhere in the multiverse, there will be a Spider-Man that does that. Keith, what you doing?
It's definitely Spider-Man out the arse, isn't it? Let's be honest. just think about how much more efficient he would be as well. Like, if he's flying around the skyline of New York, shooting webs out his arse, he's then got 2 hands free to battle bad guys with.
Exactly. And it's basically more spider-like, isn't it? Because that's essentially what spiders do.
Yeah. So it's more realistic. It's more sort of to life. Yeah, let's do it. Spider-Man out the arse.
Yes.
Warren, any advance on that?
I mean, the cool answer is obviously cobwebs out your arse, but wouldn't it be a bit difficult when you went to the toilet? Because like you'd have a lot to clean, and it'd just be a bit awkward, wouldn't it? And like, I don't know.
It'd be like
I'm
film on the toilet.
Yeah. It just like you'd never be able to flush ever. So it could get a bit messy. So I'm gonna for that reason.
Be a problem.
Yeah, like, I mean, and they're the best things ever, sit down. So, I mean, just on that basis alone, I'm going to say cry bean juice.
Conversely to that, though, right, it might actually become more efficient. Because, like, when you go for a jobby, you might, like, it might come out pre-wrapped in web so that you don't have to wipe your arse afterwards. So you just go.
Like unbelievable sustainability.
Basically, you are giving yourself the gift of time.
I tell you what, before we agreed to do this, I never thought we'd be talking about pre-web shit, but there you are.
You guarantee if it came out like that, it would be a no flush, wouldn't it? It'd be straight down the U-bend and out.
Straight down,
you
straight
need to be getting on Dragon's Den with that, mate. I think you.
See, I just don't think you could control the web though as much as you're saying you think you could. I think the web should just be all over the toilet bowl.
So you're not thinking like a strand, you're thinking like a net.
I'm thinking it'd come out like snowflake shape.
Yeah, but look, Spiderman can control what comes out, so he knows exactly what he's doing when he's like shooting his webs and swinging through the sky. So you've just got to master your powers.
I think you're giving yourself a lot of benefit of the doubt that you can control exactly how the web comes out, and that's where I'm cynical.
It's going to be like a sieve, though. If you have a bad curry or you're not feeling great, then it's going to pour through the web. Oh.
You save a fortune on toilet roll, though.
I'm telling you, I'm thinking. The more you are saying this, the more I'm thinking bean juice and crying it. Just let me cry me bean juice, please.
Leave me alone with your Spiderman out your arse. Sean asked, I want to know which apex predator animal you'd all fancy your chances against in a scrap. What's your tactics as well? So Keith via grizzly, Dales via lion, Matt via tiger, Les via crocodile. So many questions. So Keith, I'm going to come to you first on this because I assume you were on the actual show that we did this on.
I must have been.
I think you were, yeah. And if a grizzly was involved, Clippers would definitely be involved as well, I reckon, with you.
I don't know. I've slept since then. I don't know, actually. What could you take on?
Would you not go for your Velcro?
Yeah, no, that was the sheep. That was the sheep
racing the sheep. Oh my god! Do you know what? That must have been last year because that wasn't in this year's questions.
No, that was last year's Rumble. Yeah. That was the deciding question in last year's Rumble. Apex predator in a scrap. I'm gonna go with a gorilla, but like a particularly large gorilla, like a King Kong type gorilla. And basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw a barrel at him, and it's gonna kill him.
Just to sort of circle back to the last question, but what?
Yeah.
Very Mario.
Yeah, I'm gonna Donkey Kong him.
Yeah.
There you go.
Shit out of a gorilla.
That gorilla is fucked now because gorillas cannot fucking deal with barrels.
Well, they can't clearly.
They just can't handle them.
It's a brilliant tactic.
So yeah.
Or if you just finish your last scrap.
Roll Stephen Hawking at a giant gorilla. Yes. Stephen Hawking. What I'll do before I push him down the big hill is I'll put a barrel in his lap.
2 for 1. I like the efficiency.
It's all about. This is quite an efficient show, isn't it, tonight?
It is. Do you know what? It's flying by as well. I think we're halfway through the questions. Half an hour in. Dale's, go on.
Well, I remember my answer to this last time, so I'm going to alter it a little bit, and this is based on Keith and the insight that he provided me with in taking on an apex predator, really. So my apex predator was against a lion. Now, I am very confident of defeating a lion now. However, I'm choosing the arena, and I would put the lion on an ice rink.
Shout.
That lion,
you can do that.
That lion is coming onto my patch. I'm not going into the desert. They're playing away from home. They're coming onto an ice rink. And I said last time taking the lion on, what I'm going to do is make myself as big as possible, scream as loud as possible, and just slowly back away and push Boris Johnson right in front of the fucking lion. And let him have at it. And that's how I defeat the lion.
So you make yourself as big as possible. You could probably do a fight in this line when you've got mumps, I reckon.
Yeah, that's true. Confuse me then, hopefully, for a gorilla before Keith kills me.
Next thing you get in a battle, bounce off your head.
Yeah, I kind of went similar to my first answer about the most famous person I could beat up. So I just went for the weakest version, and I didn't know what an apex predator was.
Apex predator, yeah.
So I had to look this up, being quite sad. And the two I came up with, one was a sturgeon fish, and the other is a coconut crab. Now, a coconut crab can get up to a meter in width, which is quite wide. And I didn't really fancy a meter wide coconut crab. So I thought if I could get someone else to catch them and stun them, I could just sit on both of them at the same time, and that would probably do the job with my weight. So yeah, a coconut crab and a sturgeon fish, both already captured, and I would sit on them.
See, I never knew that they were apex predators.
It's a very loose wiki list that I went to. I think if it was at uni, I'd probably get fact checked by someone, but I'm not, so I won't, and it's fine.
But according to Wiki, they are top of their game. So,
they are. They're hard as.
I'm definitely going to look up coconut crab now because it does sound quite terrifying.
It's massive.
Matt?
Oh, this was really hard, this was. But, right, so I would probably, with the tiger, I would get the phone out and then show him the pictures of me at Animal Kingdom, being friends with all the other animals, and me hugging Baloo and King Louie, and Ricky and Rafiki. So, friend of the animals, I'm there to do no harm. And I would also tell him that if he's still looking for Mowgli, I know exactly where he is.
Get him on side.
I'd grass him right up, tell him he's about 50 miles the other way, and I'd be running the other way whilst I'd be saying it.
So you're not beating him up, but just defeated him mentally? Really?
I would try and be the real sort of, try and befriend him, or right audible snide. Try and befriend him, get into his confidence, spin him a right line.
I like it.
Show him the pictures of me show him the pictures of me and all his, all his mates from Jungle Book, and then I get off with a sharpish whilst he was going the other way.
And it's also got the kind of thing where you come for me, you got to come through them first.
Well, he's going to get something at the end of it. He's going to get out Mowgli, which he hates. Job done.
Fair. It's a good tactic. I just looked up that coconut crab. Jesus Christ.
It's big. You can see why it's an apex crab.
Yeah, it is an apex crab, definitely. Christ.
It is a menacing crab, that, to be fair. Jesus.
You don't want to catch that.
No, you're
not. Go back to the other question.
Bloody hell. Warren, have you come to you on this one?
No, I'm just had to Google apex predator list. And
go to Wiki.
Yeah, and it's
see any crabs on there?
I can't, but there's a few there's a giant Pacific octopus. There's a Blakiston's fish owl. So there's all different things. There's snakes and all that. I'm not having to go with a snake. I think the idea of a rattlesnake's terrifying. Bears, I'm not having them. I think anything on four legs that's quick, I'm not gonna be able to go anywhere. But there is one thing here that I reckon definitely I've got the better of, and that's the polar bear. Because I don't know what it's like where you all are at the minute, but I have never known the end of December to be this mild. And with climate change and all this, listen, them fuckers aren't lasting very long. So I reckon I'm all over this polar bear.
So basically, you're on your boat, and he's on a little icicle. Basically, he's on a tiny little ice cube floating. And you're just flicking the bees at him, aren't you? Waiting for him to sink.
I've got my Hawaiian shirt and shorts on and my bucket hat, and he's sitting there starving, and I'm going to go over and batter him. So yeah, we're all good. So yeah, polar bear. But I tell you what, there's some if you Google apex predator, there's some dodgy animals on here like that I've never even thought of or seen. So get yourselves on and have a look. You learn something new with Mailbag. You see, we're not just we're education as well, aren't we?
This is it. You do learn stuff on this show. Mine's a crocodile, apparently, I got in this list, so I think I'd just hold its mouth shut and kick its head in. Lassie band round its mouth, volley it everywhere. Seems simple enough.
Steve Irwin used to batter them all the time, didn't he?
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, dead easy. Yeah. I think I got the look of the draw there. Ellie asked, what are your favourite crisps? Keith, what are your favourite crisps?
Thai sweet chili sensations are the
solid
pinnacle
choice
of crisps. They're just a great crisp. all
That's it, whether
round.
you've got a small bag or a massive grab bag.
Oh, so it's a massive grab bag every time.
Yeah.
And you promise yourself you're not going to eat the whole thing.
And you do.
But it goes nonetheless.
Yeah.
Honourable shout out to Brannigan's ham and mustard.
Very underrated.
A great pub crisp.
Yeah. Definitely want to open the bag on the table in it.
Yeah.
Good shout. Warren?
I remember when we did the mailbag, when you asked this question, and I said to you back then that I go through phases with crisps, and back then I was on a massive Pringles phase. But I think I've got to say, I think the best ones are Tyrrell's sea salt and vinegar crisps in the green bag.
Fancy.
Yeah. I'll go with them.
Yeah, good shout. Solid flavour as well, nothing fancy there. Fancy crisp, but a very traditional flavour. I like the way you put it up there.
I do like a bag of Worcester sauce, but you can only get them in Walkers. I've never seen Worcester sauce in any other brand. If they did them in another flavour, in another brand, I'd go for that. But no, I'll stick with my original Tyrrell's sea salt and vinegar crisps.
Good shouts. Be making a list. Dales?
There are a few. Growing up, and even now, if I fancy it, Royster's T-bone steak crisps.
Oh, that's a shout.
They are a brilliant snack. Speaking of one before as well, a bag of Tato cheese and onion when you go to the south of Ireland.
Holiday crisps.
They're wonderful, absolutely sensational. And speaking of sensational, my most recent bag of crisps that I've taken a liking to quite recently, balsamic vinegar and caramelized onion sensations.
Sensations are where it's at, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Lovely stuff. I'm just going to add Ben 1878 to the conversation. You there, mate? Darren, I'll add you in a minute, mate. Ben, favourite crisps? I think we're on.
Hello.
This is very Alan Partridge, this all of a sudden. Hi, mate, you all right?
All right, Ben.
Hi,
right. My favourite crisp? Probably Doritos. Can't beat Doritos,
what
can
ones? You? Cheese or original?
Chili. I think that's original.
Chili? Oh, the hot ones?
Chili heat. What a shout.
Yeah, that is a great shout.
They're just a solid one. They're just a solid crisp Doritos, aren't they? They're good for all occasions, aren't they, Doritos?
Yeah. And for any sort of crisp pedants out there, we are including maize-based snacks and the like as well in this conversation, just to keep it open. Just while you're there, Ben.
Yeah.
What animal do you reckon you could have in a fight?
None, to be honest with you.
You vacuum up the spiders and everything.
Yeah, I just run away. But
fair enough. Good survival technique.
Anyway, pleasure speaking with you, lads. Speak to you again soon.
Nice one, mate.
Nice one, Ben.
See you soon,
on the Apex Predator, Les, our good mate Hibbo Fishing on the Canal has tweeted a link to the space, and he's quoted it with "Swordfish, fucking batter it." There you go.
Fair enough.
Hibbo would kick fuck out of a swordfish, which is
just slide tackle
it's a good mental image, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Hibbo would slide tackle it and kick it into the park end.
Absolutely. I get food for it as well, probably. Darren, I think you've disappeared. So, Rob, RV. Oh, hang on. I'll add you. There he is. So, Rob, what are your favourite potato chips?
Oh wow! Look how you use the actual name for it. How great!
You know, you've got to use the proper vernacular.
Like the classic kid side of me says, Doritos, Cool Ranch Doritos, or Nacho Cheese Doritos. Those are. I can't imagine you guys even have Cool Ranch Doritos there. Do you?
Yeah, we've got cool. Yeah.
Oh, cool ones.
Yeah, the blue bag.
Thank God.
Yeah.
So our cultures really aren't that different. That's wonderful.
No.
And then the other one, which is a latecomer to this conversation, is the Ruffles cheddar and sour cream. Those are the best.
What a shout!
Yes, you absolutely have to go.
Unbelievable, Chris.
And then, I just wanted to weigh in on that because I felt like a conversation about chips or crisps, as you call them, wouldn't be complete without my uniquely American superior perspective. So
I can't believe you haven't said the flaming hot Cheetos, Rob.
I can't do that because that thing you guys talked about with webs coming out of your anus, I feel like that's what would happen if I ate something like that. But I do like, now I will say, the kettle cooked jalapeno chips here are fantastic. Jalapeno is a great flavor for chips.
Yeah, good flavour anything, and kettle chips are ace.
And then Les,
Hibbo's on.
go.
Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say,
No,
Apex Predator wise, I'll take on any cat because I got a giant fucking laser pointer. Okay, and that's all you really. You got a laser pointer. I don't care how big they are. They are distracted by them, and at that point, you can defeat them. So, just wanted to weigh in on that.
So, Rob, hang around if you want to, mate. I'm absolutely 100% fine with that. Hibbo was back fresh from knocking the shite out of the swordfish by the sound of it.
Go ahead, Hibbo.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, Hibbo.
As you know,
Even
a fishing extraordinaire. So a swordfish, it's just a big fish in it. So no fear. You know, it's an apex predator, but of no fear. And I hope you like the batter. Because after a fucking knock it clean out, I'll be taking it down at Chippy.
What have you had for your tea? Swordfish and chips.
So I tell you what, you got your swordfish battered right, but there's no chips anywhere. So what crisps are you gonna have with it instead?
Well, you know, it depends. Honestly, it depends if we're going for like gourmet. You know, are we going to Marxies or am I eating some hula hoops? Do you know what I mean? So it depends what's in.
I tell you what,
I'm a boring bastard. I just like plain. Like, do you know what I mean? Just like salt and pepper or something. Like salt and fucking sea salt and pepper or whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? Like the big ones.
Plain hula hoops are very underrated.
Yeah. Go with like vanilla ice cream. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but just stay with the classics, man. Not wrong with that. Matt?
blue squares for me.
Good shout. Excellent
shout.
Excellent.
You occasionally get a packet where they've just over flavoured it so much that the crisps stick to the roof of your mouth and your eyes end up watering. It's so harsh with the vinegar. So they're my favourites. And also honorary shout out to, do you remember the quarterbacks when we were kids? Like the little packets, and they used to be so heavily flavoured with barbecue beef.
God, yeah.
They'd
So
stick
like
to your fingers.
It's like Monster Munch type things, weren't they? Jeez,
They'd stick to your fingers, and your fingernails and the quicks, you know, they'd just be full of all this bloody barbecue beef stuff from these crisps. They were spectacular. They were, and they were like 10 pence a bag when we were kids.
Beef Monster Munch used to do that as well.
Yeah,
we had all the best flavourings as kids. This is where the launch into Old Man Robert's territory. That's all about how great the 80s were.
But blue squares are amazing because you can have a crisp sandwich as well with those, and they're just awesome.
Well, that's it. You know, you're entering a whole new territory of crisps now as to what's best on a butty. Foxy, butty or otherwise.
Going back to, and I'm not even sure if these are made of potato or what they're made of, but mini cheddars. And they're still my go-to thing for mini cheddars. Probably not a
jury's out on that
conventional choice.
I mean, I did say it was all inclusive, but they are more like.
Do you remember the
Marmite
ones?
You know,
do you remember the Marmite mini cheddars?
Yeah, they're all good. They got bags of flavour.
Yeah,
bags.
Hey, can someone remind me what Marmite tastes like?
Shite.
Basically,
Marmite, more like shite.
Basically, if you took a soiled nappy and lashed it in the microwave for 20 minutes, well, sorry, diaper for you, Rob, then yeah, that's about it. It's just, how I imagine eating hot tar would taste.
Right, so
you're not funky.
Its brand name is Marmite, right? But it's actually yeast extract. So that's got to give you an idea of how bad it must be. Yeast extract.
Shame on you all.
I'm with you, Matt. It's okay.
Absolutely.
Matt Jones asked, plan your perfect afternoon in town. So you've got an afternoon starting pub, second place for food, third place for an evening boozer. everyone just join in on this one, and we'll break it down into what we think's the best.
Right, day drinking. You're starting on Dale Street, aren't you?
Yeah,
that's
that's given.
Undisputed. You've got to start on Dale Street if you're day drinking. So you go in with. I mean, have we forgiven Rigby's yet, Les, or are they still on the shit list?
Are they serving your kids yet?
They're still not serving the kids. I think we're going to have to wait a few more years.
Yeah, well, they can leg it then. Should we say the Excelsior, as long as it's not a match day?
That's a shout.
Yeah, let's do that.
It's horrible on a match day. It's absolutely chocker on there. So if on a match day, we'd thoroughly recommend
this is a Saturday in June, let's say.
Saturday in June, right?
Saturday
in
June.
Excelsior, because they've got they've got little seating bit out the front as well, haven't they?
Yes.
So you can get yourself sat down in the sun with your pint. Lovely pub. They do good crisps, and they've got a good pint in there.
I've bounced off those wooden posts a few times though, in between the tables. You know,
they're vicious.
Bloody Earth Day too.
Any advance on the Excelsior from anyone?
I would simply start with the Lion near Moorfields, just for the real ale, and it's a cracking gaff. Love going in there. Very friendly, decent pints.
But we're all
start off there.
We're starting that end of town, aren't we?
Yeah.
All right.
Are we then going on to the second part, or are we doing this bit by bit?
Where are we eating?
I would go with Bacaro, because you don't have to move far from the Lion. You stay in that end of town, and as Keith will testify, and anyone else who's been there, they do some cracking chorizo and honey.
They do.
Okay.
It's a tremendous gaff, and it's naturally staying up that end of town.
I got vouchers for Christmas.
You're in for the treat.
Oh, you will enjoy that thoroughly, as long as you avoid the seagull, who is the seagull is Michael DeAsha's nemesis in life. Anytime.
I love that Mike DeAsha's got a nemesis, and it's a seagull.
He has got a nemesis, and it is a seagull. Basically, it fucking terrorised him the whole hour we were sat there having our scran. This seagull just would not give him a minute. It was relentless.
But he took it really personal as well.
So it was great. So avoid that seagull, and you'll have a great time there.
Chops are good. Any advance on Bacaro? Bacaro? What is it?
Well, we
can say like a boogie now. That's all I'm thinking.
Are we saying as well? Because it's a different ball. If it's food for the second place as well, it's a different ball game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
All right, I usually go to Pilgrim and they sell crisps, right?
Pilgrim is other end of town, but it's a hell of a shout that.
Swordfish flavour.
The Pilgrim's going to be on a budget. You get little £1.50 bevies or whatever. We're Scran as well.
Rudy's is a shout for Scran as well, isn't it? Because it's down that end of town.
Yeah. Thingy, it's anyway quite good as well. That McCosh's was all right. I went in there after Christmas shopping. That was all right for a jar. Just opposite Rudy's. Or is that on the back list?
I don't think I've been in there.
So it was Rob, when you came over last time, it was next door to the bar we got the photo outside, which was opposite Rudy's, where you couldn't remember you'd been.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say I probably don't remember a lot of the places that I've been. Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. I kind of generally know the area that you're referring to. Yes,
lovely stuff. And where we seeing out the evening then?
I was going to say Rigby's, but I'm going to go with the Black Barrel instead, because you can have a nice run there.
I'm going to say avoid the Black Barrel because they don't do doubles. They serve you 2 singles, and it's about a tenner for a fucking double rum.
Oh, so I've got a story for you later, Keith. On that note,
I'll look forward to it. What I'm going to suggest here is the grapes, but not the tourist trap on Matthew Street. I mean the little grapes up on Ross.
Yeah, the little grapes is a great shout, yeah.
Because they do, on a Sunday evening, they do live jazz in there. And they've got Old Jay's. Old Jay's is their spiced rum of choice, which is just fucking tremendous. And it's thoroughly reasonably priced as well for a double. Not like that horrible Black Barrel place that Paul tried to make us go to.
See, I really need to up my rum game.
You do. You really need to get in. You need to get on the rum train, man.
I do. I did start. So when I went to McGuffey's, in town, I did get it was something old fashioned that had some sort of, it had banana rum in it or something. It was good. So I've dipped my toe into the rum waters. It's my resolution for 22.
We'll drag you along, don't you worry.
Lovely stuff. I'm fully prepared for that train ride. Chelcie asked, and Chelcie being the better half of Matt Jones, what's the threshold distance-wise for holding a door open for someone?
Right,
Foxy,
is this the amount of time you've got to wait?
Well, I suppose you can distance-wise, you can do it as in how far they are, or if you can work out the time it's going to take them. I suppose time as well.
Yeah,
I always think it's dead awkward when you hold the door open and someone's a little bit too far away, and then they have to run, or if you've ever had to run, and you'd always feel the need to apologise or say, "Oh, thanks," or "Sorry," and it's like it's just a very British thing to do, isn't it?
It just feels like you've wasted everybody's time.
Yeah, I think
too far away.
You have got to assess that point where you just go, they are like 15 yards behind me now. I'm not holding the door open for them because it just feels awkward and a bit creepy and a bit weird if I stand and wait.
I think eye contact is a factor as well. If you've looked behind and you've made eye contact,
it's
difficult to let the door go on them.
Yeah,
I think it also depends on if you know them or not. Like if it's
or if you like them or not.
If it's someone, my rule of thumb is for strangers 12 feet away, and I'll hold the door. Anything more than that, then clearly they've got to fend for themselves in this world. But if it's family, like let's say it was back in the day when it was my grandma, something like that, then I'd give her roughly 20 feet. But anything beyond 20 feet, and the old lady's got to figure it out on her own. You know what I mean?
I'm giving everyone 7 seconds.
I'm going by the door mechanism. So ideally, when the door shuts, you want it to shut fully. So if you think it's a quick shutting door, and it's going to go, by the time they get to the door, it's shut, and they have to open it, it's going to hold them up, and they're never going to catch you up and have that awkward eye conversation thing. Whereas if it's going to shut slowly, and they're going to catch it on a half volley and power through the door, they're going to catch you and look at you and go, what the fuck have you just done? Why didn't you keep the door open? So I think it all depends on how quick
the calculus for a lift is so different. You know what I mean? If I get into and I'm using, see, Les, I can use your word now too. If I get in a lift.
Lift,
you like that? Yeah, lift. We call them elevators over here on the right side of the ocean. But if I get in one and I see a stranger, like I can kind of hear a stranger coming, I'm pressing the door close button as fast as I can.
Same. I would do that because it's the fear of the unknown. What's around the corner? I'm the same with that if I'm ever in an elevator.
Correct.
Oh, one has gone the other way.
Well, just being inclusive of our American friends,
being polite. Yeah.
Yeah. But I will say this though, the worst thing is when you do that and then they just get there and they stick their hand in and the door opens.
Yeah.
Now they don't know if you've been pressing that button, but they look at you like they do know, and there's no worse feeling in the world than that. And what you hope is that you're not going to be on that lift for very long. But that's uncomfortable.
I tell you where's really bad for this caper, Hamilton Square Station. Because basically, you usually get there, you've got a minute or two to get to your train, usually. So you just want to get in that lift and get down. If you hit the door close button and the doors are closing and then someone puts their hand in and stops it, they could stop you missing your train and you've got to wait another 15 minutes.
It's a shambles, that station.
That, for me, is out. It's awful.
Us oblong dwellers will know the perils of that station.
It's terrible.
And the lifts there go out of order all the time.
And it's slow as well.
It's genuinely, it's like a Himalayan trek to get from platform level up to ground level.
I've never actually done the stairs.
Oh mate, honestly, you need a Sherpa and like a week's worth of supplies.
Is Hamilton Square the one where like it looks underground but it's not?
No,
is that the first?
No, that's
Conway Park.
What's the next one? It's the next one. Is that James Street?
That's the first one after James Street? Yeah. Right.
It's
okay.
the first one on the oblong. It's like an introduction to Monster Island through train stations, and it sets the tone if you ever have to climb the steps because you're at it for about like 3 years.
Even the lift just reflects our slow way of living.
Yeah, there are genuinely there's flags planted at the top for people who have conquered the steps.
You get a medal and a guidebook and a save away.
You get your name on a plaque on the wall.
It's like frozen dead bodies along the way.
Exactly.
It's basically like Indiana Jones getting up on the stairs. Ed McCosh is asked, unless anyone got any more thoughts on the threshold distance-wise, Matt?
No, I'm happy to agree with everyone.
Defer to Foxy's door mechanism. 15 feet. Depends if you know them. A lot more to take in than I thought there. Ed McCosh asked, what's the most Tory thing you've ever done? I'm not going to pick on anyone for this one because it would be like I was saying they're the most Tory in the group. But I'll tell you what, I'll go first on this one. The most Tory thing I've ever done is vote Lib Dem in 2010. The reason it did that was because I fucking hated Labour at the time, and those bastards promised to lose the tuition fees. They said if we get in, we'll lose the tuition fees. So it was a protest vote because they knew they'd never get in. And then they went and started with the Tories. I know. Then I didn't expect that. I was so naive to think, well, obviously they'll go with the current government if it was tied anyway. Anyway, so that's the most Tory thing I've ever done is not vote Tory. But there we go. Paul.
Well, as you can see by my Twitter avatar, I tend to try to avoid anything that would make me Tory, but I'd probably say naming my favourite crisp before was probably one of the most Tory things I've ever done.
I was going to say that. I mean, which lad born and bred in Walton says, "Oh, I like sea salt and vinegar flavoured Tyrrell crisps." Do you know what I mean?
If I was to say the most Tory thing I've done in the past 24 hours, it would probably be laughing at the kid who got trampled by the Queen's Guard. I'm really sorry if any family members of that kids are listening.
It did have lots of levels to that, didn't it?
Yeah.
Because it was like, what the fuck?
Sometimes kids need to get out of the way.
At the same time, it was so funny. This country, man, it's ridiculous. It is an absolute caricature. Warren?
Do you know what?
Something Tory down on the south coast.
I was just about to say, actually living in a Tory heartland is not great, is it? Do you know what though? For Christmas, like I got a water pick. Have you ever seen them? Seen the adverts for them? For your teeth. And I mean, I don't know. That's pretty Tory, isn't it? But this just reminds me. Have you ever seen that Twitter? It's the fella who he says it's a tweet going back years, and he says about how he says if you say anything and people from Liverpool don't like it, he said they just call me a Tory. And then he said, even though I voted Labour and put a picture up of me Labour membership cards, and then they replied by saying that's just Tory saying you're a Labour member.
Actually, putting your membership card up is the most Tory thing.
It's the most Tory thing, yeah. That whole exchange was amazing.
That was Jack Shitbrook, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that was amazing.
I think that was Jack Pitt-Brook.
Jack Shitbrook.
I mean,
Will from the In-Betweeners.
Jack Tory Brook now. Yes.
I could alienate and annoy a lot of people by saying this, but basically being a member of the Labour Party now is actually quite Tory, is it not?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Definitely.
Anyway, we won't get into that.
Don't do politics on the mailbag. I don't want to listen for politics. I listen for fun and humour.
Love me.
Well, I did actually get reprimanded on YouTube by someone saying, "Well, I'm not going to watch this anymore because you had a Tories out t-shirt on." It's like,
fine, don't watch.
Know your audience.
Fuck off to the Anfield rap.
Yeah, exactly. Keith?
I'm very much of the vote Labour, live Tory sort of approach when it comes to food and drink. And I'd say probably the
fine dining, man.
Exactly, and probably the most Tory thing about me is my house has not one, not two, not three, but 4 appliances for making coffee.
Oh my god! I mean, that's serious coffee making.
I have a coffee corner, and I spend a lot of money on coffee. So, that's probably my Tory trait.
Talk us through, because I don't think I can think of 4.
So
a kettle, is that one?
I've got an espresso.
Nespresso, very Tory.
I've got an espresso, which is incredibly Tory. I've got a filter drip, which like everyone needs to have a filter drip, especially if you work from home, because you can just lash it on in the morning, and then you've got like coffee right through till dinner.
The one you can get from Costco, the filter coffee from Costco is class.
Yeah,
really nice. Yeah.
Oh, don't get me started on Costco. We'll be at it for days. I've got a traditional like French press cafetiere thing.
Oh, nice.
And I've recently started dabbling with an AeroPress one. I was inspired by Mr. Flusk and his coffee ways. So
I mean, we should all be inspired by Mr. Flusk on every level, I think.
So that's my coffee corner, and that's my Tory trait. I am a Tory coffee drinker.
Do you know what though? I think if we're going to be anything Tory, I think coffee is it, because coffee is just great, and like what you've just described there, Keith. I mean, like that just sounds bliss to me. Like I'm mad into coffee, me. That just sounds brilliant.
Next time you're up, I'm inviting you to Keith's Coffee Corner.
Yeah,
I know Keith does. Does anybody else have a milk frother though?
Oh yeah, I've got a milk frother in my corner as well.
Absolutely unbelievable purchase.
And I believe Paul's got the same milk frother I have after I turned him onto it, because I'm so impressed with this particular milk frother. It gives you very, very frothy milk.
Yeah. I haven't got a milk frother, but I am typical Labour behaviour, because I just get a pan of milk and boil it to try and get it hot, and it doesn't froth, but it's the best I can do. So yeah, so that's my Labour behaviour with coffee.
The pan as well.
I used to do that, you know. I used to heat the milk up on the hob and like just whisk fuck out of it before it goes into the cup. Since I got the milk frother, I have never looked back. Honestly, mate, spoil yourself, treat yourself, and your life will be improved like beyond words.
It's revolutionised coffee making forever.
I'm going to go down to Lakeland tomorrow and be very middle class and buy one.
Yes, I cannot wait to have coffee chat on Saturday morning.
Winner? We should all have a milk frother then. Matt?
I love coffee as well. I'm a big coffee fan. However, I also do love Peppa Pig. So, I love Peppa Pig. I love Peppa Pig World. It's absolutely brilliant. But also, the kids love Peppa Pig as well, and there's hours and hours of it on the planner. And after seeing that bastard do all the stuff with Peppa Pig, it's just really, really, really defiled it for me.
Are we talking about Boris Johnson here or David Cameron?
Yeah. I mean, it's I'm sorry, can you guess? But no, that's it. Peppa Pig. I mean, it's wonderful program, and the kids absolutely love it. And then that happened, and then it's just.
Do you not find Peppa Pig the most annoying person in it though?
No,
I think she's horrible. I mean, George is a knobhead as well. I mean, basically, Mr. and Mrs. Pig have got bad kids, haven't they?
Yeah.
Proper latchkey pigs.
Awful kids.
It's all the mother's fault. But it just ruined it. It just absolutely ruined it. It's such a great program, and it's such a great place to take the kids. And it's just fuck that.
Mr. Skinny Legs, my favourite episode, I think. The big frig off spider to Delta. Foxy.
Yeah, in 2015, I moved to a place called Barton under Need Wood, which my sister-in-law still just refers to as I Need Wood. It's got a 95% Tory majority. Our MP is a guy called Michael Fabricant.
Oh no!
If you don't know who he is,
weirdo with the wig,
and it sounds like you do. He's got 4 different blonde wigs.
I mean, that could apply to all of them, to be fair.
Even his name, name, Michael Fabricant, he is not real.
He's got. I can go one worse. My local MP is, the Chope, Christopher Chope. The one who voted against the law breaking for upskirting.
Oh yeah, when he filibustered, didn't he?
Yeah. Fabricant's doing the upskirting though, so that's the difference between the two. And he's got 4 different blonde wigs. Literally has one for each week, and then in week 5 he goes back to his first week's wig. He cycles topless up and down the canal. Near us between the months of April and September. He is a complete and utter disgrace to everything, and he is my local MP. And for that, I'm deeply ashamed. But that is the most Tory thing that I have about.
So he's the upskirter, allegedly, and
Allegedly.
Oh. Do we have to say
keeping his
allegedly?
right to upskirt, allegedly.
Choke's the one who voted against it, yeah.
Yeah, allegedly.
No, it's not even allegedly. It's
No,
it's
I meant
fact.
fabricant.
Oh, right.
The
Yeah.
fabric and stuff, we may or may have not have been making that up.
Yeah.
Mr. Robot, discussing in work yesterday, which was several months ago, but we'll go with it. Is breakfast in a can a suitable food to eat? He argued vociferously against it. Again, we can have a one-word answer, or we can have workings out. Warren?
Nothing in a can for me ever. I'm a bit of a Tory when it comes to cooking. It's got to be fresh. It's got to be good. It's got to be high quality. So none of this breakfast in a can. I'm afraid now.
You basically are Landon Donovan, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah. I just like breakfast. Do you remember when we did the show with what's the Aussie fella? And he said
Ryan.
about the breakfast tinners. Do you remember that?
Oh, Christmas dinner, Ryan. Yeah,
Christmas dinner. Yeah, Christmas dinner. And oh no, it just ugh. I'd rather fart cobwebs than eat that. Do you know what I
mean? Keith, where are you on breakfast in a can?
Nah, not for me.
No.
Nah, it's just I'm very much with Warren in that, like, just things in cans just generally aren't good. This goes back to like my Tory food habits. You should always be eating fresh.
Often beans.
I mean, I don't include beans in a breakfast because beans are shite.
There's a hill to die
right.
on.
I've said it. I said what I said. Come at me. Beans are shite.
But do you know what? I would say they're not necessary on a breakfast.
They're absolutely pointless. They are shit. Get rid of them.
I don't think potatoes have any place on a breakfast, hash brown or not.
Right. No, there is a good way. There is a good way to do potatoes on a breakfast, and I will tell you exactly what it is. Do you remember the glory days of the 90s when Little Chef was the king of the roadside?
The Olympic breakfast.
The Olympic breakfast with those little fried potato discs. I swear to God, they were nectar.
After every single holiday I came back off with my mum and dad, on the way home from Manchester Airport, we would go to Eastham Little Chef.
You've got to stop at a Little Chef, haven't you?
I mean, we were literally 10 minutes from home, but we still have to stop in Little Chef for a brekkie.
You just don't see them these days.
No.
I think there's still one in...
Heston Blumenthal got involved, didn't he?
Yeah, ruined it, the twat. There's still one, I'm fairly certain, on the road between Perth and Stirling on the A9 or whatever the fuck it is, I don't know. But there used to be literally one on either side of the road, and I like to think of them as like rival Little Chefs, and they would have like battles between the staff over who earned the most money over the course of a weekend or a year or whatnot. And then one of them got taken over by a Subway, and it was just a really sad day. It was like the end. It was like a marking the end of my childhood. I mean, I was like 30 odd at the time, but still really depressing.
That does sound like we are not merging with Swindon over my dead body. Next thing you know, they're a Subway.
Oh, honestly. But yeah, a Little Chef Olympic breakfast. If you've never had one in your life, go on Google Maps, find your closest Little Chef and go and get one. And the good thing is you can have it at any time of the day.
It was an all day. It was
an all-day breakfast. It didn't come off the menu.
I would recommend then going to Perth because Scotland is clearly the best country on earth. And that, again, just reaffirms that for me.
Yeah. Let's do it.
True.
Road trip.
It's on. Got to 2022.
Can I just say there's a Little Chef in Crewe?
Let's do it. Let's go.
I'm on the Little Chef website now. There's a Little Chef in Crewe.
Should we
go? You get Crewe in the FA Cup if we get past Hull. Just for this now.
Should we go to
There's loads, you know. Yeah. There's loads of Little Chefs around. Haydock. There's one in Haydock. Knutsford. There's a fair few around. Yeah.
That's close enough. Rob, have you any idea what we're talking about?
Breakfast in a can. Honestly, when you first said it, I really initially thought that you alcoholics were just talking about drinking for breakfast. So that's what I thought. No, what is actually contained inside a quote breakfast in a can?
So you got beans, you have bacon, you have sausage bites,
black pudding,
so like black pudding, like little meatballs of sausage. You may even have like bits of egg in there, you know.
Yeah, there is. There's egg in there as well.
I mean, nothing
So
inspires confidence like egg in a can. You know what I mean? So, no, I think that all sounds pretty repugnant, but at the same time, we have these little. I don't even know what they're called, but they're like.
Oh, you there, Rob?
Sorry.
Did you mute everyone?
I've pressed the button by mistake. Sorry. I tried to. Sorry, I think I've unmuted everyone.
Rob, just unmute yourself. What and when all power mad?
Right, sorry, hang on. I've unmuted everyone now. Right, sorry.
Is that the most Tory thing you've done, Rob?
Wow.
Sorry. Wielding the power there, man.
Les, I was going to say, we've got these things here they're called Just Crack an Egg, where you literally just take an egg and you crack it and you pour it inside this little cup and you stick it in the microwave. And then the egg is then heated up with all this like sausage and egg and veggies and other stuff. But it's all like it's space age, but it also looks kind of disgusting too at the same time. But
at least the egg's fresh, I suppose.
Yeah, at least the egg didn't come from the can or what have you. So yeah.
Matt, have you got any thoughts on breakfast in a tin?
Now, my answer to this should be no. But growing up, but growing up, my mum worked and my dad didn't. And my dad's colouring skills were absolutely dreadful. He did the veg in the chip pan, right? Fucking awful. Right, so
hang on, let's circle back to this. Veg in a chip pan.
Oh, that was just taking the piss. That's as bad as cooking.
Just deep fry everything.
Everything just came out the chip pan. Everything just came out the chip pan, or it came out of the freezer. And nothing was ever fresh. Nothing was ever done. So our staple diet was sausage and chips, fish fingers and chips, crispy pancakes and chips. It would be spam fritters. It would be then. Do you remember then, sort of early 90s when you could get frozen Chinese curries and stuff like that?
Yeah.
So
and frozen roast dinners. I remember them.
Yeah. So it was all of that. It was so breakfast in a can doesn't sound too bad to me, or would have then, having gone through what I've gone through with the old man's cooking. It was absolutely awful.
To be fair to your dad, he's just one of life's heater-uppers. He's 200 degrees, 20 minutes. I'm basically like that.
Just, bacon in the microwave.
Some people are cooks, some people are heater-uppers.
Yeah, but it's, bacon in the microwave, stuff like that. So it was, it was almost you were sort of forced to eat what you killed. You had to go home and face whatever he was cooking.
I mean, how often was your hand hovering over speed dial for Childline when your dad was microwaving bacon?
It was bad. It was bad. Was it 0800 1111? Is that the number? I can't remember.
Now speed dial nowadays.
I just didn't want to speak to Esther Ranson. That was the only thing.
Foxy, tin breakfasts?
No. So no to tin breakfast, but I disagree with Keith that there aren't any good things that come out of a can. There are chopped tomatoes, broad beans, many different types of beans and lentils that come out of a can, which are fine. So I don't think all can things are bad, but not breakfast.
Yeah, sticking up for canned food there.
Sticking up for the cans.
It's got a place. Canned spaghetti.
Yeah.
If it's in tomato sauce, but if it's fresh spaghetti, like
spaghetti
pasta.
Bolognese. Oh God, no. Yeah,
spaghetti bolognese was lovely.
Basically, the Heinz red soup with spaghetti in it.
Yeah.
You know what you get?
Spaghetti hoops.
Spaghetti hoops, yeah. Beans and sausage. Those sausages and beans and sausage, peerless.
They're not bad then.
They are good. James,
do you remember Heinz?
Oh, go on, mate.
Do you remember Heinz did the sausage and bean pizza?
Oh God, no.
Oh.
Yes, I do. I do. I vividly remember that.
Out the freezer, absolutely brilliant.
Sounds filthy.
Sausage and bean pizza. You people will eat anything. I swear to God.
It was a Heinz pizza, wasn't it? Like a
you took what you could get. Yeah.
Like a deep dish pizza, boss.
Knowing you probably
beans,
eat the
and then
beans
you had
cold somehow. So I don't know.
Hang on, Rob. I've been to America where you dip your fries into your milkshake at Wendy's.
Yeah.
So
I've never. No one like. There are 10 people in this country that do that, whereas you all eat cold beans, which I never will understand. That was a big wake up call when I had my first the full English breakfast, and I get these beans on the plate thinking they're hot, and that's a wake up call when you put them in your mouth and they're cold. That's a rude awakening.
Moving on to James the Boomer's question. We've got 3 more questions after this. Would you rather score the winning goal in an international tournament final for your country or headline Glastonbury? Foxy will come to you first on this.
I'd much rather headline Glastonbury. I think if you score the winning goal in an international final, then you're kind of brought out every 25 years for the last 25 years of her and go on Soccer Sports AM, whatever it's called, on Saturdays. I'd love to be a musician, be able to sing and to kind of have that thing going on. So I'd much rather be a musician and headline Glastonbury a million times.
Fair shout. Matt?
Score the win goal, I think, in a tournament. I
See,
think
but you can be patriotic because you're Welsh.
Yeah.
Much easier.
We're all right. I mean, we're all right at rugby. We're not all right at football. Not that West rugby, but I think you've just got that euphoria where you've got the personal glory, but then you're part of a team as well. So you've got something to share with as well, and you're gonna have a job for life, aren't you? Because as Foxy said, you're gonna be dragged out on everything.
Yeah.
So you're always gonna be in work,
and you were never buying a pint again in your life.
No, it's true. That's true.
Yeah. Either way, Paul.
I'm headlining Glastonbury because, in all honesty, I don't really care for England too much. I don't think scoring. I mean, obviously, like if you scored a goal for England, it'll be massive and everyone will remember you. But me personally, I won't get the same buzz. I would get more of a buzz scoring in front of the Cardiff Street.
Yeah,
in a fucking standard Premier League game. So for me, headlining Glastonbury would be incredible.
Netting the consolation goal and an FA Cup exit to Bolton would be more preferable. Yeah. Fair shout. Rob?
Let's see. I'm trying to think, because like scoring a game-winning goal in a final for my country would be seen by
Landon Donovan's put the cross in for you.
Yeah, there's probably about 1% of the population here who give a shit. So I don't know if they know what Glastonbury is, but if it's, I would still rather be a rock star any day than being a great U.S. Football star easily.
What would it be in America? Rob, Coachella or something like that?
Yeah. Well, but you know what? I think the better question would be for me, it'd be like, would you rather throw the game-winning pass in the Super Bowl or would you rather headline the Super Bowl easily?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? The Super Bowl. You got to take it. Absolutely. Because then I am on every cereal box. I've got commercial endorsements for the rest of my life. Probably never have to buy a meal ever again. It'll be great.
Americans go mad for putting stuff on cereal boxes, don't they?
Yeah, Wheaties, man. That's the whole shtick. Yeah, we've been doing that since the 80s. Do you guys not have famous people on your cereal boxes, like in the Olympics and stuff like that?
We have Tony the Tiger. That's about it.
Only Monster.
Only Monster. Yeah. No, I do love the way Americans are just nuts for putting stuff on cereal boxes.
Hey, Les, what's the best cereal box character?
Ooh. That Fruit Loops bear, just because US Fruit Loops are absolutely elite.
Oh, you mean like Toucan Sam?
Yeah.
That's the toucan on the Fruit Loops box. Yeah, it's
him all night. What about you? What do you reckon?
I think it's got to be. I think it's probably got to be Count Chocula because
just for his name.
Well, I kind of admire him because he's the living dead, and yet he's got time to care about children's cereal, and it's chocolate, and it's. I mean, I feel like he's a really 3-dimensional character on some level.
He's rounded, yeah. I am made up. I now know the name of Toucan Sam though, because I did not know that's what he was called. Keith.
I've completely lost the train of this year.
Are you netting for Scotland or headline in Glastonbury? Or Tea in the Park? Because I'm being like dead sort of stereotypical like that. You might like that better. I would, because it's great.
So I went. I'm going to go with the same answer that I gave when we did this on the show, and I'm going to say score the winner in a final, because, like you've mentioned, if I did that for Scotland, I'd never have to pay for beer again in my life. Also, like you can probably tell from the way I'm talking with my like fucking all day hangover that I've been rocking here, I do not have the most dulcet tones for like fronting a music festival. I've got a singing voice like a goose farting in the fog. So
is it farting webs or not?
Big goosey webs. That's the name of the podcast. Big goosey webs.
Goosey webs. That works on so many levels because you have people looking at it thinking, "Was that something about trainees or what the hell?"
So yeah, that's they would not let me anywhere near Glastonbury. I'd be fucking huckled off the stage.
Warren.
Yeah, I'm with Tails here. I'm not patriotic at all. I mean, if I could pick a country to score the winner for, I mean, Rob, I think if you scored the winner for the States, I mean, it gets pretty big over there when the World Cup's on. I know, like, it's not
knee deep in soccer moms.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but Warren, I hear you, but you're still talking about like the fifth most popular sport in this country. So
no, I know, but I think with yous like over there, it's a bit like anywhere. Then if your country does well, it's something everyone gets involved. But no, I'm not. But then I'm not a festival person either. I'm not into. I like my music, but I'm not. Glastonbury and all them just don't appeal to me. So I think the answer I gave when I was on the show when we talked about this way back when was like, if I could change the question to scoring for Everton, then yeah, all day long. But if I could, I'm just not patriotic enough to want to score an international goal. I'm sorry, I'm just not.
Yeah, fair enough. And you don't have all the like Reds trying to hawk it to their horrible club, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
it'd be like
it'd be clean.
Awful.
I think the thing is as well, like, I don't know, like, do you know, I don't know if any of you are watching the darts at the minute. I love the darts, and I've been watching all the fact that people who in that darts crowd, the darts fans who sing them proper horrible songs that they sing, like the proper weird lads banter songs, like the thought of scoring a winning goal for them and them cheering my name just doesn't appeal to me either.
Outside of the Tory party conference, is there a worse large collection of people than the darts crowd?
Do you know what they've started doing now? Do you know, like Laura Woods, the Skype sports presenter, she does all the presenting, and they spent about 10 minutes just chanting, Laura, give us a wave. And then I just thought, like, just lads, what are you doing? Like,
do you remember the year when the Colo Tory?
Oh, they still do it. They still do it. They still do that now.
Right. That was just, honestly, that was one of the worst things that's ever happened to the world. Genuinely, I'd put that up there with anything.
I put that in with Steven Gerrard doing it. Some airport.
Yeah.
Awful. What an
but they still sing that now with the darts, and I just think, like, if I scored the winning goal, I'd have people like that, like, oh, mate, you scored right goal in the final.
Yeah, fuck all that.
See, on the plus side, you'd never have to buy another pint. On the minus side, every pint you got bought would be Carling.
And it would be thrown in the air when England score.
In a plastic glass.
In fact, it might just be like a sort of Pavlovian reaction. The second they see you, they buy you a pint and lash it straight in the air. You're like,
don't get me started on them knobheads.
Keith, we'll move on then. We've got 3 questions left. I only need a one-word answer, or you can provide work. And if you want, the question does say why. But here we go. Keith has asked. They say everyone has a price. Quite sinister, this. I reckon you wrote this in a darkened room. They say everyone has a price. What's yours and why? Keith, I'll come to you first.
Right now, probably about 27 quid tops.
Do you need a tattoo from town or something?
Shambles of a human being. I went out for a couple of quiet drinks last night and rolled into mine at like 4 o'clock this morning after necking half a bottle of gin. What's worse is it was like sparkly gin with glitter in it, and I don't even know how that happened. but I think the glitter's made it worse.
Those cobwebs are going to be shining tonight, lads. Fucking hell.
So, yeah, I've just been a shambles of a human being all day, so I've just had to order myself a massive Chinese to sort myself out tonight.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so £27.
27 quid. Warren, higher or lower? 27 quid. What's your price?
See, there's two ways of looking at this. I mean, it depends what it's for. But when I read this question initially, and it's like everyone's got a price, for me, it'd have to be something life changing. Now, if you said to me, "Is £2.5 million to stand on the cop with a Liverpool shirt on, singing "You Never Walk Alone"?" Like, I don't even think for £2.5 million I could do that, because there's some things you just can't do. But like, if you'd offered me, I don't know, like, it just depends. Like, it depends what it's for. I mean, I think whatever it's for, it'd have to be something life changing, because I'd like to think I've got morals and principles, and I wouldn't do anything just for.
Though? What would you do a lot of things for? I reckon about £1,000 could tempt me into doing.
No, see, I don't think, because no, I don't think I could for £1,000. I think it'd have to be something like at least like a year's wage, a year's salary for me to even consider something. And that's not me being greedy. That's just like, there's a lot of things people would get you to do, and I don't think I'd be comfortable with doing a lot of things that maybe that aren't suitable. Do you know what I mean?
That's fair enough. Yeah. I mean,
that's a bit of a boring.
I'm not talking anything nefarious here. I'm just,
Like, I mean, again, it comes back to, I mean, if you said to me, knock back some of that glitter gin that Keith had last night, I'd do that for 50 quid. Do you know what I mean? But like,
would you do it for 27 though?
Would I do it for 27 quid? No, I don't think I would, because I think gin's vile. So I'd probably have to do it for. It'd probably have to be 50 quid. There you go, 50 quid. Yeah, 50 quid. Yeah.
Dales?
This is what I was gonna tell Keith about, because he touched upon it. My price will be £9.10, because that was the price of the double rum and coke I bought from a restaurant that shall remain nameless last week.
Bastards.
Fucking scandalous.
Bastards.
Name it.
Burn them
Name
to the
it.
fucking ground.
Is this where they sell singles and not doubles?
Do you know what? I'm not going to name names, but it rhymes with Busto. And it may or may not be on the Albert Dock. I'll let you decide.
I honestly cannot think what you mean.
I've got no idea what you're on about.
Got me there.
Do you know what? I would have flipped the table. The whole table would have just got thrown in the air at that.
See, I only realised because Catherine told me afterwards, or I'd seen it on the bill. I didn't like. I was just taken aback by how much it was for literally a double.
I would like to do a good table flipping.
Yes, love a good table flip.
Said, that does sound easy. Matt, what's your price, fella? I reckon a double espresso from Starbucks, and you'd do anything.
I pretty much would. I would said in jest that I would push back for 50 grand, and I ended up sitting on the sofa. I ended up on the sofa for 2 nights because Helen was absolutely astonished and appalled. But I said that, but I said, you can do a lot of things for 50 grand, Hal.
Just get it over quicker, if anything. Anyway.
But I wouldn't be greedy. I'd want to win that set for life, that 10 grand a month, tax free. You know, I wouldn't need to win the big Euros. I just need something like that, so I can give up work. The family would be okay. You could have a nice little normal life, doing all the nice things that you wanted to do without, going out blowing hundreds of thousands on daft houses and silly cars. And
but you could still buy a really stupid car.
Yeah, you could, but you sort of you still have to live within your means a little bit, and you still have to be quite moderate.
It's just your means are way above your means.
You couldn't go like that.
10 grand a month set for life, and you've got to stand for one game on the cop with a Liverpool shirt on, and you've got to sing all the songs that they sing.
Yeah, fuck it, I'm game. As long as I can zip, as I can zip my pockets shut.
I couldn't do it.
See, I'm that bitter. I'm that bitter. I couldn't.
I absolutely agree with you. I agree with you. I couldn't do it.
But is there a price that anyone would do that for?
See, the thing is, though, this reminds me of my sort of... It wasn't a one-man protest, because I imagine there was a lot of people doing it. But for years, I would not buy Carlsberg at £1 a bottle.
No.
Because they sponsored them. I would buy bottles of Budweiser for £2.50. Now, who was coming off worse there? I was teaching no one a lesson there,
I still don't wear Reebok, and I'll never bank at Santander.
I am not using Crown Paints ever. Do you look the
No.
other way?
No.
Listen, I'm sure this was a mailbag story. Did I tell you, or was it someone else who told you the story about the washing machine that was candy, and we had another washing machine that was 50 quid more, and we bought the one that was more expensive just because it wasn't candy?
This is it, though. I fully endorse that way of thinking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Foxy, what's your price?
What was we're offering 10 grand for going on the cop and singing some songs? I
For
think
one match.
I guess.
And you've got to wear a Liverpool shirt.
I'd be fine.
You've got to get a tattoo. You've got to get a Liverpool tattoo.
I would learn all the songs. It would mean more to me than anyone else, and like nothing would ever be my fault again. I'd be happy for that, and I'd take the money.
Nothing.
I worked out before about 2.75 million, and I'm just whatever Keith wants me to do, I'm ready for it. So if Keith, you want to contact me afterwards, I'm here for you.
Foxy, I do like the fact that you would do that, and every time you're drawing out money from your like whopper bank balance, you're going, this means more.
It means more.
Every
it means
time.
more.
This means more.
I'd have no guilt, and it wouldn't be my fault, and it'd all be fine.
It'd be snowing as well, or raining.
Very windy. Yeah,
I'm into that, to be fair. Right, just need a one-word answer for this one. We've got 2 questions left. One-word answer. Rob from Oklahoma asked, where can he find the best pizza on Merseyside? Touch of sadness to this question because this was asked in preparation for him coming over, and he should be here now. But obviously, everyone's shite, and he's not.
Shite.
But just one-word answers from everyone. Where can you find the best pizza on Merseyside?
Rudy's.
Warren. Oh, Paul. Rudy's.
Rudy's.
Any advance on Rudy's?
Nah, it's Rudy's.
To shout. Anyone else?
No.
Rudy's it is. And Rob, you've been there. So there we go.
Yeah.
But there's a new one.
It was that memorable. We're going to finish on an Everton-related question. Sadly. Matt Jones, at some point, Matt Jones, the Blue Room's Matt Jones asked, what's the maddest reason you can remember for a player getting booed at the match? I think this was on the back of England players getting booed taking the knee in the summer.
Yeah.
So
tell you a good recent one.
Go ahead, Keith.
Burnley fans booing Richarlison for that fucking big rock putting 6 foot up in the air. And like
volleyed.
Him being out for like 3 months afterwards because he got leathered by an absolute yard dog.
Yeah.
They're a strange bunch, Burnley fans.
And had nothing to do with the park end, which I'm here for that.
Yeah.
I like that non-park end booing. This is
God
the way
bless
to go.
the park end.
The best stand in the ground will fight anyone who says different. I'll see it outside Dixie's statue. Warren?
Do you know what? Like, I was thinking of this, and of course, it always goes back to when Sean Davies got booed because he failed the medical. There's always that. But do you know what I was thinking of though? Do you remember the FA Cup final in 2009 and Kofi Annan got booed? I know he's not a player, but Kofi Annan got booed. Like, why? Like, it was like, and here's such and such to shake hands with the players, and please welcome onto the pitch, Kofi Annan. Boo.
How many games have you been to this season, Robert?
It's like, I still to this day do not know why we booed Kofi Annan, and like the funniest thing from that was people from that were trying to like analyse it, like, did he support the Iraq War or was he something to do with the Iraq War? And it just, like, I just thought, like, we will boo absolutely anything.
Kofi Annan, Everton, Kofi Annan.
Yeah. Well, but yeah, just, I love it as well when, like, did you see, was it Ben Foster about a month ago, they were doing one of them podcast things, and he said Everton fans are the worst. He said, I've had hot dogs thrown at me, and you don't understand the abuse you get at Goodison, and I've never felt prouder when I heard him say that. So
yeah, I mean, does that say more about Ben Foster or the rollover hot dogs at Goodison? I'm not sure.
Well, isn't he one of them as well? You know, like, and I know some people don't like this. I'm a fan of this. Do you know the way the opposition keeper always gets applauded by the street end or by the park end? Wasn't he one of them who never like gives the applause back. So that's why he got booed, and that's why he gets abused.
It turns into a booing really quickly. That doesn't.
Yeah. So I mean,
like a Tory.
Also the time waster extraordinaire.
Yeah. So I mean,
got the cleanest boots on the pitch, the amount he kicks his studs against the post.
Yeah, exactly. So between Ben Foster, Sean Davies, and Kofi Annan, I think they're the best boos we've ever done.
I mean, you give everyone else enough else sugar here, mate, because we're not beating Kofi Annan, are we? Foxy, any other sort of UN representatives you've heard booed or anything like that?
Not so much. One of my favourite things to do is a good boo, and I love booing the kids, but it gets frowned on by my wife, so I'm not allowed to do it too often. And it's probably one of my favourite reasons I go to Goodison. I still find when we boo Son brilliant, because all Son did was pull an angry face and Gomez fell over and broke his leg. But like the last Spurs game, when he's running about getting booed and having a terrible game, I think it's awesome. So as long as the booing continues, I'm all for it.
Oh, he's on the booed for life list.
It's awesome. It's brilliant. And if it's a UN leader or anybody, Nobel Prize winner, just go for it.
We don't discriminate, do we?
No, it's when we're at our best when we're booing. So I think we should have more of it. Lead off with a boo. Bins egg cars. Start with a boo. Be brilliant.
Yeah, sack the siren off, just a massive boo. Over the tannoy. Matt, any advance on that?
No. John Stone's been booed for being a football player against Swansea. It was right. We were literally right in line with the edge of the area when he did it. And honestly, the eruption of the fume that went off within a split second was absolutely. It was like a goal. The noise was just unbelievable, and everybody just went at the same time.
You'll have none of this football playing, Lark.
Oh, honestly, and when he did the calm down, then that fucking hell, that just went worse.
I mean, that was peak Park End. It was sensational.
Yeah.
And one of the funniest ones though was when we beat Chelsea 3-1 a couple of years ago in Ferguson's game, and Barkley was up and down the line, and he got to within about 30 feet of the Gladys, and the absolute vitriol that just came his way, and he just ran the other way. He just ran backwards towards the bench because it was just absolute, just the torrent of abuse that came his way. It was brilliant.
Yeah, we were at Chelsea the other week, and that was probably... No, I mean, Branthwaite's goal was great, but I think the abuse Barkley got was probably a little bit better.
It wasn't it, Les? It was. It wasn't it like guttural and visceral, like from the depths of everyone's stomach. It was there. Yeah,
it's the reason we should sign him.
Do when he comes back?
Yeah, it's the reason we should sign him. Get the booing going.
Yeah,
get it going early in the warm up.
Give the fans what they want.
Yeah.
Goodison horrible again.
Stephen Sheehan's joined. Steve, have you got stories of booing or pizza on Merseyside? God, I sound like Steve McManaman then. I said booing.
Booing?
Pizza on Merseyside. What's your price? Fill your boots, mate.
Booing. I've got one sort of Everton related, one not Everton related. My brother-in-law is an Arsenal fan, and he was there when was it Aaron Ramsey broke his leg, and he said the abuse Aaron Ramsey got at Stoke was unbelievable. Having his leg snapped in half.
I mean, the goal of the fella to get his leg snapped by a grok of a centre half.
And the other one wasn't really a boo as such, but the Coventry 98 game, when the ball fell down from the air to Farrelly, you could feel everyone. I was with my dad, and we were both saying, "Don't shoot," because it was the last place we wanted the ball to fall to, and then it happened.
It's actually amazing there wasn't just a massive crescendo of "don't shoot" because everyone in the ground was thinking it.
It was sort of more or less a case of just looking away because you just knew what was going to happen.
And then he absolutely shinned one in. Amazing goal.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dale.
I was gonna say the only two recent boos Everton related I could think about. I'm gonna start this by saying they were both shite and they both deserved it, but I'm gonna give you the context. Morgan Schneiderlin was booed simply for coming on the pitch.
That's fair.
Well, yeah, I suppose. And then the other one, Yannick Bolasie, when he went down injured against United, and our fans were giving him shit.
Oh
Little
my
did
God,
we know, he ruptured his ACL.
It essentially ended his career, didn't it?
I stand by that.
We had our fun, Keith, and that's all that matters.
I stand by that. He was dreadful. And
My
don't get me
favourite
none of this,
boo.
oh, he was all right until he got injured nonsense. He was crap.
Shite. My favourite boo of all time, no, has to be after the Super League stuff broke through, and the Leeds fans literally ran to the Liverpool coach because they were playing him the next game, and he was just running to the coach booing. I've never been more jealous of a fan base in my life.
The running boo. It's
The running boo.
classic genre.
Absolutely mastered it.
See, it's one you'll find you won't get in the park end because we can't be asked getting out of our seats, basically. If we could be bothered, we might do. Special mention's got to go for the QPR back pass.
Yeah, but that was Barkley, wasn't it?
3-0 up. Was it? I thought it was Jackie Elka.
Oh, it might have been. I can't remember. Yeah.
But the QPR back pass was a sensational bit of boo. When you're 3-0 up, lads, come on, just keep control of the game. No, fuck that. Let's get four.
Boo. Can I just
Sorry,
go on, Keith.
Turn in his own box.
Well, this is it. I mean, this is where the park end peaked.
And then telling the park end to fucking pipe down.
Exactly.
What a fella.
You notice, he didn't last too long after that, did he?
No.
Nah.
I just want to round this off. I just want to round this off by saying I did a little search just then while you were talking of Kofi Annan 2009 FA Cup final, and I found a tweet from Jeff Nolan, and it's a touching tribute. Really, he says, "R.I.P. Kofi Annan. Watching him get booed on the pitch at the FA Cup final in 2009 is still up there. It's still up there as one of my strangest ever moments. To be fair, I think everyone got it barring our lot that day." So, yeah.
And we will end on that because this podcast, or whatever it is, has just peaked completely. We will end on that. Keith, Warren, Paul, Matt, Foxy, RV, everyone who got involved. Thanks for that absolutely sensational bit of mailbagging. Toffees don't play until after New Year, so just go out, enjoy the New Year. Do what you got to do. Have a great New Year. Thanks for all your support.
Get us on the proper podcast as well, Les.
What's that?
Get us on the proper podcast as well.
Oh God! Do you know what? I think this could be a thing now where I get like 5 people on
and do this.
It works.
Have a Royal Rumble, yeah.
I'm fully into it. Royal Rumble every week.
I'm into this mailbag in a public forum where
it's better than Survivor Series.
Where we can't be edited either.
Oops.
Matt will be tearing his plentiful hair out right now.
It's yes. Nightmare, isn't it?
And the best thing is, I've screen recorded it, so hopefully I should be able to put it up on YouTube.
Beautiful.
So yeah, if there's any new listeners who've not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do that because we need it. And yeah, again, thanks for all your support this year. Thanks to everyone who's got involved. That was the final Mailbag Royal Rumble of the year. We will be back with another one around the same time next year. We'll be back in a week or so with a new mailbag. Let's catch you soon. Have a brilliant new year. Up the Toffees.